If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. I am extremely worried about Roddy Ricch's new album, Feed the Streets 3. Today we're going to break down why, and I've touched on it a little bit in my previous videos on this. I got the whole playlist for this album that is coming out with all my videos on it on my channel, so make sure you go check it out. If you're a fan, you want to get up to date with everything that's been happening. But today we're going to talk about my worries, and I know a lot of y'all share them too, because y'all express that in the comments or in the Discord to me or just on my Instagram DMs and stuff like that. I know a lot of y'all will disagree. I know a lot of y'all also said it under the last videos where I kind of touched on that, but we're going to break down why, and maybe we can have a discussion about this in the comments. So Roddy Ricch is dropping Feed the Streets 3 this Friday on November 18th, and this record got announced a couple of weeks ago, and it is meant to be the redemption for Live Life Fast, which was the album that he dropped at the end of 2021, so almost a year ago. And a couple of days after it dropped, he really took notice of the criticism that it received, mainly because we thought that he could do way better than just talking about cars and money and women and fame and putting them over these lame-ass beats, and not really, going out of his comfort zone, not experimenting enough, not leveling up on that record. Feed the Streets 2 is miles ahead of Live Life Fast, and that's why only a couple of days after Live Life Fast dropped, he took to Twitter to tweet out, "Y'all playing with my top, Feed the Streets 3 coming 2022. So this whole context to the album means that this is the album that he wants to get his redemption and get back his respect that he, at least in some ways, lost for Live Life Fast. But what we are hearing so far does not, do him any good in terms of getting his respect back. It all started with that EP that he dropped in June, I believe, the Big 3, which we had 3 tracks on there that were really unoriginal. The only one that got a little bit of traction was Real Talk, and only because it has this catchy hook and it kind of goes hard, but it's a Roddy Ricch song that we've heard a couple, 1,000 times before. And it wasn't anything original. Even back then, I dropped a video back then saying Roddy Ricch disappoints again, because I thought back then we thought that EP was his redemption. Now we know he was only gearing up to drop Feed the Streets 3, so we still got hopes for that one. But that one was we thought that was going to be it, and then it just wasn't. So we already were disappointed with the Big 3. And then he started dropping singles again. He started dropping, for example, Ghetto Superstar with G Herbo and Doughboy, which I think was supposed to be the original first single before Stop Breathing dropped. We're going to talk about Stop Breathing in a second. And then it didn't do really well, and fans weren't super excited about it, and then he just decided to scrap that single off of the record, because all the other singles that he's dropped since then made it onto the track list for Feed the Streets 3. And so that single really wasn't it. The next one is Stop Breathing, where he's just trying to, now I always see these singles from Roddy Ricch as an attempt to stay afloat, an attempt to somehow keep him from drowning, because this next record, Feed the Streets 3, really decides about his career. Is he going to drift off and just be, slowly fading into irrelevancy, and nobody in 2 years caring about his projects that much anymore? Or, and this is the chance that he got, and I hope that he does this, because Roddy, I believe, has so much potential, and I want to see the dude win, or he can kind of go that route and prove that he is the new Kendrick, leader of this new generation, whatever we always call him and other people like that. So that's kind of the split road that he's at right now. And it's going to be very interesting to look at how he, goes about doing this. But as I said, so far, I just don't see it. So Stop Breathing really wasn't that good. The next single, Aston Martin Truck, for me was even worse. Now, it's more easily accessible. You can just put it on in any car and just play it and people will like it. There's not much to dislike about that single, but that's also the problem, because he's trying to please everybody with that single. It's just kind of one of those, like Real Talk, it's one of those singles where he's going a safe route. He knows that fans like this style and that also a greater audience in hip-hop likes this style, but it's nothing original. It's not pushing anything. It's not okay, look at this single, the new album is about to be crazy. It's just kind of going the same route, the same safe route that he's gone with, Live Life Fast, that was in the end the detriment of it, and that he's gone with that Big 3 EP that we didn't really like. The last single that we now got is Twin featuring Lil Durk, which I think from a rollout and business standpoint is a terrible decision because he got exactly 2 features on the entire record. It is Lil Durk and Ty Dolla $ign. And the reason for a lot of people to tune into this new Roddy Ricch record would be to hear those 2 singles. And he dropped this single on a Monday or Tuesday, correct me if I'm wrong, of the week that the whole album is dropping. Why would you take away a lot of the anticipation and a lot of the hype and the reason for people to tune into your album, which would have been the Lil Durk feature, in the same week? It doesn't make sense to me. It's like you're fumbling the bag right before right when there's the finish line. Didn't make sense to me. The record was all right. It was, again, nothing special, nothing that really convinces anyone that this is going to be huge. So that's why, Lil Durk's part was all right. But it's like, it's also, the problem is the subject matter, and I said this a lot, and I know a lot of y'all also said that, you get what I'm saying, but also it's like he talks just about the lifestyle that he's living right now with the money, with the women, with the cars, with the fame, all of that, and the expensive lifestyle and stuff like that, and that is just his life, and he can't really go back to the struggles that he went through. That doesn't keep you from using that to make authentic music, though. It's not like you're completely cut off from that. People like Kendrick still do it. People like J. Cole still do it. They've been at a height of fame for over 10 years, and they still make very authentic music that is not just about these very shallow and surface level things. And we all thought, you can't tell me not, we all thought that Roddy was also one of those people that doesn't just drift off of talking about this expensive lifestyle, but that actually had some substance to his music. And that's why I'm so worried that this thing is just going to flop and it's just going to fade away into irrelevancy, and eventually his career will do the same as well. Now, we also got a couple of leaks in there. I made an entire video on it earlier where I go over all the leaks and snippets that we got. There are a couple that have me excited. We have, for example, leaks and snippets for King Size, which is not really good. We have one for The Pressure, respectively, if you want to kind of go back to the old name, No Advice, what we thought it was going to be called, that's the Mustard track, which is like, it's one of those Aston Martin trucks again. But then we got one which is Belly of the Beast, or Difference Is, that was the old title, that he previewed on a live stream, which is actually pretty dope. And I'm excited for that one track, Belly of the Beast. I hope that this is the track that can save the record. I hope that this is the track that is like, gonna at least show people that he can still get out of his comfort zone, do something that maybe weren't expecting, and be successful in doing that. That's kind of what I hope for this track to do on the entire record. But all in all, that's the main reasons why I'm worried about this album, mainly because there's nothing for him to talk about, and he's not proving us wrong in any of the singles or snippets that we got. It seems like the entire album is just gonna be like money and fame and expensive lifestyle and women and basically the same stuff that we had on Live Life Fast, which was the downfall of it. And also that he's not experimenting enough. He's not going out of his comfort zone enough, because Roddy has also a great vocal range. We can't deny that. From a technical standpoint, the dude has more talent than a lot of these rappers out there in terms of, kind of holding notes or like doing something melodic. He can definitely do that, but he's not using that on these new singles, and I want him to do that. Maybe he's going to prove us all wrong. I have hopes, for example, for the last track on the track list, Letter to My Son. That one might be really dope. But all in all, I'm kind of worried about this. Let me know what you think about this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Why on both sides? Let's keep this, kind of like very respectful, because a lot of people will quickly be like, oh, you're just a hater, blah, blah, blah. I've had it enough many times. No, I want the dude to win. I want the dude to succeed. I want this album to do good, and I want him to regain his respect in hip-hop. But so far, I'm just not seeing it from a very objective standpoint. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. No pun intended with the down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.